Janet and I went over to Raleigh this weekend to see the Norman Rockwell exhibit at the North Carolina Museum of Art, which also, by the way, houses the largest collection of Rodin in the Southeast. So we really enjoyed it. It was such a great time. While we were in Raleigh doing some shopping, we went into the Williams-Sonoma, and I found this really neat pan. It seems like most of our videos lately the catalyst is a new pan we bought. So here's this pan. It's got these really great little shapes on it. See? That's for making cakelets. Cakelets, fall cakelets use a couple of ingredients, maple syrup and bourbon or whiskey, and both of which, according to Janet, go good on pancakes. We're going to make cakelets. Now this is for the cakelets, and then we'll go over the frosting that holds the cakelets together, and then the glaze. You want to position a rack in the lower third of the oven on a preheated oven of 350. You want to put this cakelet pan, you want to be able to put it on pan, because this will typically be uneven in most oven racks. Preheat to 350. Well, that's preheating. We'll get the ingredients together. Start with two things. We're going to work on the cakelets first. We're going to make a dry mix and then some wet ingredients here. For the dry one, we need 1 1/3 cup of flour, 3/4 teaspoon baking powder. I like to scrape that along the side there so it's flat, even thing. Get that sifted around, moved around, and mixed around. All right, now we need 3/4 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves. They were out of the ground cloves when I went to the store, but I grind that in cinnamon and stuff in just one of these little coffee grinders and just clean it out in between each one. Works out pretty well. All right, the dry ingredients, and we'll mix those together really well. I was saying while we were in Raleigh, we had a real treat at the museum. We ate lunch there in their restaurant. It's very trendy. And it takes about an hour to wait, so that gives you time to look through the exhibit, which is fantastic. They've got this great new building, a lot of water outside that adds to the visual images. It's very adjustable. They have curtains, and it's white and bright, and it's just a great place for art. We saw a lot of really neat stuff. We saw not only the Rockwell, the Rodin, we saw Renoir, we saw Monet, we saw Dyck, some Rembrandt copper etchings, just tons and tons of great stuff. They have a wonderful museum collection. All right, in the next bowl, we're going to whisk together the milk and the vanilla and set that aside. So what we need is 3/4 cup milk, and 1 1/2 teaspoon vanilla extract. And we'll whisk that together. All right, so we're going to mix up the butter, and I was saying we got to tour a couple of the other museums in town. We were able to see the Science Museum, and then we went through the History Museum, got to tour the Capitol of Raleigh. We thought that since we've lived in North Carolina for 5 years now, that it was time we went and visited our capital so we could see what was up. The hotel we stayed at had a round restaurant at the top of the hotel, and which was really cool. It gave us some great views, and the folks in the restaurant upstairs were really nice. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to beat the butter on medium speed until it's creamy and smooth. Takes about 30 seconds. Then add the maple syrup and granulated sugar and continue beating until it's light and fluffy, about 3 to 5 minutes on medium. So that's what we'll do. So Raleigh's got quite a few pretty cool shopping center. I went out to Crabtree Mall and went down to the city market, went to the park. 3 to 5 minutes, stopping the mixer occasionally to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Add the eggs a little at a time, beating well after each addition. Add the rest of the eggs. Reduce the speed to low and add the flour mixture in 3 separate additions. So when we do that, we also want to alternate with the milk mixture and beginning and ending with the flour. Beat each addition just until it's incorporated, stopping the mixer occasionally to scrape down the side. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to put it on low. Now, we're going to mix about 1/3 of it. Along with about 1/3 of the milk mixture. Scrape down the sides. One more time. Half of that, what's left. And so at the end, we should end with the flour. So we're going to go ahead and add all of the milk mixture. Scrape it down. Should be the last of it. Alright, we're going to take some of this to the sink. What we're going to do now is take about a 1½ tablespoon of batter and put it into each well of the pan. What you want to do is you want to pound this down on a counter. I'm not going to do it on the top of that stove because it's glass. Shut this. Okay, while that's baking, I'm going to make a homemade frosting. It takes unsalted butter, some cream cheese, some maple syrup, and some confectioner's sugar. So it's pretty simple. We'll make that, we'll put it in the refrigerator and let it stiffen up a little bit. Okay, we're going to need 2 tablespoons unsalted butter, 2 ounces of cream cheese. Okay. 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. 1½ cups of confectioner's sugar. Beat for 2 to 3 minutes, stopping occasionally to scrape down the sides, just like we did before. Oh yeah, that's good. We've got the cake almost done. We've got the frosting in the refrigerator. Now we're going to make a glaze that you drizzle over top of it. And that is 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of maple syrup, 3 tablespoons water, and 1½ tablespoons of the secret magical recipe, bourbon. We're going to put in 1/3 cup of sugar, and then we need 1/3 cup of maple syrup. I like where this is going. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of water. Oh, and the cakes are done, so I'm going to 1, 2, 3, and oh, perfect. Look at those, nice. Set that there for just a moment. Use a little of the Tennessee stuff. 1½ tablespoon. looks like a half and a half. A small saucepan over medium heat. That glaze over this medium heat. Use a serrated knife and remove any excess off the top of it, like so. Trick here is we put this wire rack down on top of it. I'm going to just flip the whole thing over. Right on top of the stove. Now, move. Oh, we lost one. But, while those are cooling, you can see we're cooking up the glaze. Oh, it's got a nice whiskey smell to it. And we'll put some frosting on the middle of these, and we'll put it together and create a whole piece. One of the important aspects of it is making it look good too, so we're going to take our time and make sure these are spread out. I want to do these little acorns. There, just like that. See? There's a little bit of icing in it, and then you just set it down on the tray. And do these walnuts, and we'll set that down on the tray. We'll just drizzle it over the top of it. And we'll try it. Wow. These are the perfect holiday cake. Absolutely perfect. Oh, Janet, the cakes are done.